So look, last night we got hundreds of emails about our immigration coverage. Again, we are asking you to become part of the conversation. So send your thoughts to 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. And I want to start tonight by talking about something that many of you mentioned in one way or another, and that was bias. Alex thinks our bias was front and center. He wrote, "It is clear that WRAL is on the side of illegal immigrants." Rick agreed with him, saying WRAL is clearly on the side of the illegals. But here's the thing. We got just as many emails saying the opposite, that we were biased against immigrants. Clint thinks that we favored the federal agents. He told us, "I believe that you take the side with immigration by saying that this is needed." And Doug said, "Tonight, I think you missed the mark. Your default position was that the undocumented status was a valid justification for racially profiling and violating the rights of those detained." See, that is the tricky thing about bias. Two people can watch the exact same story and walk away convinced we're siding against their viewpoint. That's usually a sign that we're doing our job, that we're telling people the parts of the story that make them a little uncomfortable, that make them realize that these issues are too complicated to be 100% right while everyone else is 100% wrong. Let me give you an example. See, Jerry wrote in and said, "The male announcer, I forget his name, seems to be making a case that rounding up innocent people is okay and should not be opposed by anyone." Jerry, thank you for writing in. I am male announcer. And that's not what I said, but apparently that is what you heard. You see, last night we talked about the lawsuits out of Chicago, where a judge ruled that agents violated the law when they arrested hundreds of people without a warrant. Now, the point is, there are documented examples of agents making mistakes. And frankly, that's something we should expect in any large law enforcement operation. Policing has never been perfect. Not in immigration, not anywhere. That's not taking a side. That's just acknowledging reality. It's context that you need to consider. And it helps explain why some people, including legal citizens, told us that they were afraid to go out, to go to work, to go to school. Because if you look a certain way or you have a certain name or an accent, those people don't want to be a person caught up in one of those mistakes. But at the same time, mistakes don't then invalidate every federal officer in what they are doing. It is possible to hold both truths. Now, how much weight you want to give those, that's up to you. Here's another example. This was from Chad. He said, "Your reporting bias is appalling. Please note that the previous administration, Biden, created this problem." But see, we did point that out. We pointed out that the rise of illegal immigration happened during the Biden administration, and that there was a major part of our story last night because it is relevant. When millions of people enter the country illegally, that does impact communities and families and schools and now these enforcement operations. It does matter. Of course, this story has affected our community the way that it has. It's partly because so many people in this country are here illegally, that it is baked into American life today. It's hard to say that illegal immigration doesn't impact American life when the fear alone of enforcement has this kind of noticeable impact. Thousands of kids skipping school, businesses closing, entire projects being put on hold. That viewer also said, "Please also remember that it is against the law for anyone that isn't registered to be here, and most don't pay taxes here." So this is another place where the truth is just more complicated than the talking points. He's right about one thing. If you don't have a Social Security number, you generally can't pay income tax, and that does matter. I'm a legal citizen. If I don't pay my income tax, the IRS comes knocking and they don't play. They will take your house. They will throw you in jail. So it's understandable when people ask, why should someone here illegally get treated differently? But saying they don't pay taxes isn't accurate either. You don't need legal status to pay sales tax, gas tax, tolls, property tax, fees, local taxes built into your phone bills, utilities, services, things like that. That is the full picture, which is almost always more nuanced than the quick version that you're going to hear in some political argument. These interactions we are having are great. This is exactly what we are hoping for with this newscast, with the in-depth series we've been doing with this new 7 p.m. email. Give us your feedback. This is your community. This is your newscast. You deserve a voice, and we will give you one. 7 p.m. at WRAL.com.